make new carpets for these old cars. Lets you refresh them in a way that is otherwise kind of difficult. So it's cool that they make this carpet. Okay, so I'm gonna jack up the car and take a look underneath because I'm gonna need to make a hole for our new line to go through. So I wanna make sure I'm not about to make a hole into something that shouldn't have a hole in it. And once we're sure where we can make the hole, stick the line through, and then back to the carpet. You know, there was a time that we were loading this up onto the trailer without the race ramps, and I said, make sure I don't hit in the middle underneath. And it looks like a hit in the middle underneath. Like pretty bad. Definitely don't want to drill into this. This is our plastic gas tank. These are super cool. Already had to replace that once. All right, listen, I think I'm gonna add another bird to this one stone situation. So the car, the engine, doesn't leak anything, which is great because I put all that together. But I do have one leak that I meant to take care of, but I lost the seal. So I've since reordered one, and it's the transmission output seal here. So to install that, I have to take out the drive shaft, and coincidentally, it looks like my install of the handbrake will be a little bit easier with the drive shaft out, because I can basically just run the line down and follow the factory handbrake cable, which runs right above the drive shaft. So I think I'm gonna take the drive shaft out, these 4 bolts, that'll allow me to replace that seal and make the handbrake easier to install. So win, 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 win. I'll kill 100 birds with 1 stone, and I don't even care.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got our hoses here. This should be pretty easy. These lines are all pre-made by GK Tech. They pressure test them, make sure they don't leak, and they even label them so you can't really mess it up. So this hose here goes to the e-brake and down to the T-piece. This is the T-piece, and then that tees off into these 2 lines that go to the individual calipers. So, should be easy. Okay, so after looking down below, it looks like right about here is going to be a good spot to put a hole to run our line through, kind of just following the factory cable, just a little bit in front of it. So I got a step bit on a drill, and I'm just going to do this. Okay, that's probably big enough. We'll throw a grommet in there so that the metal doesn't cut the hose, and that's it, we made a hole. Whee! Lovely. Holy crap. That's just an old radiator mount bushing. I didn't have any grommets. Okay, so that'll go somewhere like that. All right, so we're gonna cut some holes in this carpet. I do have to split the front here, which I was trying to avoid, but to avoid that, I have to take out the whole dash and all of its framing, which we're not doing. So I'm gonna split this here, then make a hole for a support that's under the dash. Then we'll make a shifter hole, and then a hole for the factory e-brake. And then I think this is ready to go in. So, six inches back. This is the start of the shifter hole. Shifter goes here. If you're replacing your carpet like me, it's a good idea to keep your old carpet around, no matter how bad it smells, just to use it as a template for cutting holes in your new carpet. Oh, this has been a long time coming. Oh yeah. This isn't the coolest thing to do, but I'm very excited to have fresh, non-urinated on carpet. Okay, so it's time to install the master cylinder for our new e-brake. And you might be wondering, you know, how a hydro e-brake works, and it's kind of in the name. It's hydraulic, just like, hi buddy, just like your regular brakes, just like the brakes you use when you hit your brake pedal. That's a hydraulic system. Really, the main differences are that you don't hit a pedal with this, you yank the lever, and that it only goes to the rear wheels. But it works just like your normal brakes. You've got a reservoir here, the master, that you put fluid in, bleed it like a brake system, and this is a brake system.
Okay, master and lever are installed, and they do technically fit, but we're kind of touching the wiper stock here, and it is really close to the steering wheel. So I will eventually put it over here for a little bit more room. But that's fine for now. It will work. So let's move on. Finish running those lines.
Alright, so I've removed our factory rear brakes. You can see the caliper here, and here's our factory e-brake. When you pull the e-brake, it tugs this cable, which pulls this lever, which forces the piston out and clamps onto your rotor. So now what I'm going to do is pop all these arms off, because we're going to be replacing all these too. I've got some cool parts for these, so I'll bring those out in a sec. Then we can flip the knuckle and hub forward, and then we can take the hub off. Then we can install our bracket for the Willwood calipers. So let's do that. Okay, now we've got things pretty well taken apart. The hub is off, so now I can figure out how these go on. This is the bracket that will be sandwiched in between the hub and the knuckle and will allow me to mount the Willwood calipers, so that's pretty convenient. Now what this is going to do is space the hub out a little bit, so that means it's going to pull on my axle a little bit more, only by, you know, the thickness of this plate, but it's not nothing. So we are going to add axle spacers to the back of this so that we basically make up for that change in, you know, pull on the axles. That's just going to keep them really well seated in the differential and make sure nothing comes apart. So let's figure out which way the brackets go on, put them on. And yeah, it's time to think about the arms.
Why did it? Oh, was I taunted?
I'm sweating.
I'm just I'm just ass at this game.
I got a problem, man. I just can't knock. I don't care about the carpet. I'll worry about that later.
Yeah, maybe it was fucking. Oh, Doofus isn't picking
Better or worse?
minions. My minions.
Okay, our e-brake bracket is on. Everything is clean and everything is wet. So now it's time to install our new suspension arms. So I've got a sick bit of kit from SPL. They make super nice suspension arms, and I'm really excited to get them on this car. It's going to give us adjustability over pretty much all the things. We're going to be replacing the traction arm, the camber arm, and the tow arm. So we have full adjustability over our rear alignment. So I'm going to go one by one, take out the stock piece, match the length of the new SPL arm.
Being really cringe right now.
And that'll basically keep my alignment in the same ballpark that it was in until I can actually get to the alignment.
You got this.
I'm not going to be doing any more garage alignments, I don't think. Oh yeah, dude. The future's now, man. Old traction rod.
Let me use my ability. Thanks.
Alright, so these new arms are super adjustable and it's really easy to adjust them. You just loosen these locking collars and then spin the turnbuckle guy in the middle, and depending on which way you spin it, it'll either make it shorter or longer. So I've got it pretty well matched to the stock piece here, so I'm going to lock the collars down, put it in. Okay, off to your new home. Oh, I like that. Okay, up next, camber arm. All right, there's our factory camber arm, and it's got an eccentric bolt, which is how you adjust the camber from the factory.
Okay, I'm just going to keep getting one shot, I guess.
The head of this bolt and the shaft of it is offset in this
3 seconds.
Attached sort of washer. That's the eccentric part. So as you turn this, it is forcing the arm in or out off of this portion of the subframe up here. So that's fine for factory adjustment. You don't get very much adjustment, but the real problem is that These can move on their own even when they're properly torqued down. If you're really beating on a car or hit your wheel, these can move and change your camber, which you don't want. So we're going to be getting rid of the eccentric setup. SPL sent an eccentric lockout kit, which basically is sort of a normal nut and bolt setup, no eccentricity, so that when you turn the hardware, the length of the arm doesn't change. So that's cool, but what's really cool are these arms. Look at that. Pretty excited about these. They look cool as hell. And now I'm going to match the length of the stock ones and pop them in.
How much fun
Right,
is that?
last but not least, the toe arm. This controls the toe of the rear arm. It hangs out the back here and grabs onto the knuckle out here. So by adjusting this, you can adjust your rear toe. This also has an eccentric bolt from the factory, just like the camber arm. So we're going to be ditching that with another eccentric bolt lockout kit and SPL's rear toe arm. More of the same, real nice part, should install real easy. So I'm just going to match up the length, throw it in there. And then all our arms are in, so then we can throw the knuckle back up, so then we can put some brakes on this thing. Something I forgot to mention, one of the big benefits of installing arms like these are that you move away from the factory rubber bushings that are, you know, soft from the start and they get worse over time. And you move to these heim joints, which are basically a direct metal connection. So they're very stiff, they're very crisp, and they're gonna make this thing feel a lot tighter and a lot more responsive. So excited about that, and I'm real excited to get this done. So the arms are in, now we can throw the axle back into the hub with our axle spacer, then put the hub back up and attach it to all these arms. So let's do it. This is our axle spacer. This came with the GK Tech e-brake kit, and this basically just accounts for the additional space that you're pushing the hub out with this bracket. This goes in between the axle and the backside of the wheel bearing to basically push the axle back in towards the diff, just to make sure it's not stretched. It's super easy to install once you get this all taken apart. You literally just drop it in there and then put everything back together as you normally would. So now it's time to stick the axle back through, throw the nut on, and then we're really off to the races. Okay, this car has been sitting for like 4 years, so the old brake rotors are rusted, they're pitted, they're no good. So we got a fresh set for our new e-brake to grab onto. Just gonna turn it off, put it on.
I was pressing Q, I don't know why.
Now we'll put our caliper carrier back in.
God, they do so much damage, and I'm just building them are.
These holes are slightly too small for those studs, so I gotta open these up to 10 millimeters. Okay, with that minor modification, this will go on now, I swear, I promise.
How did that miss? I mean, God. Again, all AP damage. I have 2 AP magic resist items, and they don't do anything.
Okay, now we've got our new brake line on, and with that, we're pretty much done here. So time to put some fluid in it and bleed it, right? Wrong! I still got to do the whole other side. But I won't make you guys watch all that. Maybe a little time lapse. All right, we're fresh out of bubbles, so that means a bench bleed is done. So we can take that loop out, not spill a drop, connect our lines, and then send fluid actually back to the new calipers. You know what I'm talking about. New tools. Camera tools. I've got a black diffusion filter for the Osmo Pocket 3. I've got some quarter 20 eyelets for flashing this to the hood of the car. This is a slider. A motorized wireless slider from LEager. You thought that shot of Jerry talking to his windshield was sick? You just wait. Okay, here at the rear, we're ready to bleed. So Eddie's gonna go in the car and operate the handbrake lever and add fluid to the reservoir as we move fluid through the system. So I just have a nice little brake bleeder bottle. These are super handy, super convenient. I got one that, you know, you can lash up to stuff, and it has a magnet that can just go right on the rotor. Pop that on the bleeder, and we'll start circulating some fluid through this thing and get it working. So close. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's money, honey. Feels great. That's gonna lock us up nice and good. Okay, well, the hydro system is bled and it feels great, which is very exciting, but we're not done.
I just
We
can't
gotta
move.
bleed the regular brakes. So we're gonna do that, try to push a lot of old fluid through them. We're not gonna worry about the fronts right now. I do have some stuff for the front, but that's for another day. All right, we now have a working hydraulic handbrake and a working set of regular brakes and a bunch of cool suspension arms. But I got a couple other little treats. Real easy stuff. The most fun kind of stuff. So the knob in this car right now is actually the old stock knob from the Miata, and the threads are kind of ripped out of it. So while I do like this old guy, it's time for some new stuff. It's a Tomei knob. It's made out of Delrin. Threads right on. Oh yeah, baby. It's the little things. And it's the big things too. You gotta have it all. Boink. Boink. Is that what it sounds like when you shift? Okay, well, I gotta put the rear of this car back together, but boy, it's looking really nice in here. New carpet, no more pea smell, a new shift knob, a new oil cap, and by golly, a bunch of new suspension arms and a new hydro e-brake. Oh, this thing is so close to being an absolute ripper, I can't wait. I got some more stuff I gotta do at the front. I need to address the front brakes, and I think we're gonna need a little more angle out of this thing. So we'll tackle that on the next one. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for being here. Thank you for enjoying watching me finally put this car together. It means a lot to me. So like this video.
Today we're speedrunning Donut County, one of the most satisfying games I've ever played. Now we'll start our speedrun as soon as we click on new game. Right away we'll spawn right into our house, pet the cat for good luck, get rid of some of those letters, and finally open this curtain. Now what we're going to do right at the start is skip these text messages by pressing on the window, and then we can get right into the main gameplay loop of this game, which is consuming things right into your hole. You can see first of all we can get all these letters, things like that, and every time we consume something our hole is going to get bigger. The main objective for this first part of the game is to capture this duck guy, so we have to make our hole big enough to make sure he's able to fit in. And yeah, he was kind of trying to be tricky there, but I got him and we can finish out that level, which after that we can get on to one of our main characters, BK. He's texting another one of our main characters called Mira and telling Mira that he's level 9 now, and if he gets to level 10 he earns a quadcopter. Don't worry, it makes sense in the universe. So the thing is, they run a donut business, but every time someone orders a donut they actually spawn one of those holes and then suck them in there. So this is giving us a little bit of a flash forward where, yeah, we're down here too now. And we can see all the people we sucked into this hole, and we're going to be going through each and every single one of their stories in flashback style. So for the first one, we go right in, and you'll see with this game, basically what you want to do is focus on most of the tiny objects first and then make it to the bigger ones. We can also use the physics in places like this to try to move things over, because we have to get that skull before we're able to get this chest, and then finally we can get the box
Okay, I
before
have
the
it
game's
turned
going to leave
off.
us on to bigger things.
I
Then once you
remember
make
not.
it here, first of all, we
Oh,
want to open that
it
gate
just
so we can
adjusts
get
my
that pot,
settings
and then
by
we're just going
itself.
to go
Okay.
one by one.
My
Our
bad, I
hole is
thought-
big
I
enough
didn't
here
know
to
it would
get
do that.
pretty much everything, so we don't really have to worry about what exactly we're focusing on. We just want to make sure that we get everything as fast as possible. But then we get here, we're going to get these paint buckets first, get all these bins and stuff like that. And we see that the mom is really focusing on her pottery, and yeah, now she's dead. Maybe you shouldn't have been focusing on your pottery so much. And that's kind of evident given how much stuff they have back here, and we're gonna break it all. All of our hard work is now gonna go to nothing because it's going to get consumed. So in reality, we really don't want these things to get broken if we can help it, because that makes them split up into different pieces, and it just makes it a little bit more messy. So we want to get that at all one time. And finally, we get onto the main gimmick of this level. Each of these levels will have one of these gimmicks, and this time it's going to be the fire. So we can use the fire to push this hot air balloon up. It's going to break everything apart, and now we can start getting the remnants. We'll start with the smaller pieces, look at all of that stuff. We can also get that pool or pond or whatever that thing was, and then we can start going for the bigger stuff. And this is really where this game starts getting satisfying. It just feels so good to eat all of these things. Your hole getting bigger and bigger, and nothing is really able to stop it before finally we take their house and there's nothing left. Also, every time we get to one of these sequences, we're basically going to show the person falling down. We can skip it by going to the main menu and then continuing the game from there. That just saves a little bit of time every time it happens, so it makes sense to do. But now it's time for the snake level. Now the snakes are pretty annoying. Basically what they do is before you can get them in your hole, they're going to hop up. And that just makes them a little bit of annoying to deal with because, I mean, just get in the hole, guys. I'm trying to consume. I don't have time for you to argue against me. But what we'll do is pop them up early while we focus on getting other stuff, and then we can go right in there, get them as well, before getting the rest of the bigger stuff, getting that snake as well, and moving on to a larger area. And actually the gimmick of this level is also going to be the snake. So once we get this blue snake, which didn't want to happen right there, what's going to happen is its tail is going to pop up, and we can use its tail to increase the snake danger. We got 2 of the increases right there, and we're also going to try to get 2 right here by moving both of those chickens. That just saves a little bit of time since we can do both of the cutscenes at once. And what's going to happen here is the entire snake danger thing is going to explode. A bunch of snakes are going to pop out, and now everything can get consumed. So we're going to go through one by one. We'll start with these snakes and just the smaller things, but after a little bit we can go for the rocks. And how is this one not fitting in? Okay, whatever, I guess we'll go for different ones first. But yeah, nothing is safe at this point. We can get this guy his entire tower. He tried to stop us. Probably wasn't a good idea to use the snake danger sign that much if it was going to explode. Not really the best design in the world, but hey, we got him down into the hole. We can continue our game, and here's some more sob stories about, oh, I didn't want to get consumed. Look, it's not whether you want to get consumed or not, it's that you have to, because I gotta go and get my quadcopter. Now for the next one, there's going to be this dog and all the fish. They're all flopping around randomly. It's actually hilarious, but we're gonna make the dog pretty sad because we're taking all of his fish before also consuming him. Then it's gonna move us slightly over, and this level is going to introduce water, along with that bird, which is able to drink the water. So first of all, we want to get the items right here. And what we can do is get the bird to drink some water, and then while it's still down, go back and get another drop of water. We'll get a few more things, but you'll see it again right here. We get 2 things at the same time. That just makes the game go by a little bit faster. Just the best way of doing it.
That was
epic. Go fully down twice. But as we get rid of more and more water, there's going to be more fish popping out, and obviously that means we can consume more. After we get the doghouse, we can also get that trailer, and finally it's just time for one more water source, get that fish, and then we can get the bird, finishing off the level. And things have been going really well so far. We've been consuming everybody very fast, but now it's time for the coyotes. Now this is actually one of my favorite levels because first of all, the coyotes are adorable. They just pop their heads out of their tents. They don't really think maybe we should run away. Instead, they're like, no, the tent is the safest place to be. But what I'm going to work on while they're popping their head out is getting all of that stuff before then I can knock down this corn. And we can use the corn to combine it with the fire and then put our hole under the tent. Now for some reason this tent is the heaviest thing in the world because a bunch of popcorn is going to start coming out. Normally it would spray all over the place, but instead since we were under the tent, it just goes right into our hole and saves us a little bit of time. Then we can start getting their tent. It's going to open up even more, and yeah, this coyote probably knows that the end is imminent. There's nothing really that they can do anymore, so we're going to go through, consume all the rest of this stuff, take that rock as well, and that's going to be it for the level. So happy shout out. The coyote is just so adorable. I love it so much. Anyways, for our next one, it's time for the bunny level. So first of all, what we want to do is just grab both of these carrots, which come Cole. Please do this for me very fast. Okay, anyways, once you get 2 carrots, what it's going to do is pan over and we can get the big carrot. Now we can use the big carrot to move the bunnies over. So we'll move this guy through his gate so he's able to make it out of there, as well as get the one on the cliff side. Then we can get them to each eat part of the carrot before consuming one and consuming the other. Now what this is going to do is when 2 carrots are combined in a hole, they have a great time. That's all I'm really gonna say. But anyways, our hole is just gonna get bigger just from doing that. And now we can start getting
use my abilities, man.
Stuff like that. It really
God.
focused on for this level.
I'm just
is getting
CC'd
enough
for
space
fucking
so
forever,
we can
I
get the
guess.
rest of the rabbits.
God.
So I'm not even gonna
So
worry about
cringe.
the other stuff, and instead just go straight for these guys. And again, they can start having a great time. I'm sure they're talking about anime or something. Then finally, there's gonna be 2 more rabbits. We can move them
this
over.
team's
One
doing
does
good.
not want to get come on,
Really
come
need
by
me.
your girlfriend. It's okay. And there we go. That one has been consumed. And we also got that boulder in at the same time, which is kind of lucky. But now there's been so much happiness and anime talking going on that all of the rabbits are gonna pop out, and it seems like there might be a few more, but we're just not gonna worry about that. Right now, this house explodes. Yeah, I don't really know why that happened. But now we're going to be going through and getting all the remnants.
Can't move.
Well,
Again.
we don't even have to worry about the rabbits anymore.
Oh,
The
shoot.
only
Oh.
thing we have to worry about is getting this house and trying to do it fairly efficiently. That was the greatest thing ever. But there we go. We got it. What a great mechanic in this game. Anyways, they're still talking about things. You should actually play this game. It has a really funny story. It's just enjoyable altogether. But obviously, we're just trying to go fast. We're not even going to read it. Now, for this one, first of all, I want to go and focus on all of these rocks just to make sure my hole is big enough to open up and get this fire. I can also go right over here, get the lawn chair and stuff. And now we're going to combine the fire with the charcoal and start burning stuff. So we'll start off with those guys. We'll get one more piece of charcoal and get these trees as well. And that's going to cause all of their branches to come down. Or are those really branches? Leaves? Something like that. But we're going to get the remnants of the trees and just collect all of them to make sure our hole is big enough to then get the picnic table, get this guy as well, which we just set him on fire. I kind of feel a little bit bad about that. Yeah, you might not be alive anymore, but that's also not my problem because instead I'm going for all the boulders. And once we get all of those, we're now going to have a big enough hole to just take the trees somehow. And there we go. Another level done, which I think the person is alive. Somehow they're able to survive fire. We're just not going to worry about it. We definitely didn't murder anyone, even though this is a very deadly premise of a game. But now we're going to the fireworks stand, and I really do love this level. So what we can do is make fireworks go off, select them into our hole, which get in there, dude. Thank you very much. And then we can move them so they're able to hit things for us, like these birds right over here. We also want to make sure our hole is big enough. Before then, we can select these birds. We'll just get the 2 smaller ones first and then the bigger one. Okay, I said get in the hole, please. And that's going to pan out the camera even more. And we'll see there's another person that's just kindly enjoying their lunch. Now, luckily for them, I don't really like people not dying, so I'm going to go ahead and hit them with some fireworks. But we have to do it a few times, 3 times to be exact. And while we're waiting for the fireworks, we can also go and collect some different stuff, just make our hole get a bit bigger. But finally, after 3 fireworks, everything is going to start toppling down, and now it's time to consume even more. We'll get the person, we'll get their picnic basket, some corn, stuff like that, get this car, which is very conveniently placed, before then going for the fireworks stand. And okay, I guess we're not going for that right away. Come on, fireworks stand, get in there. I had to collect one more thing, get that popcorn, but that looks perfect. And now we just kind of have to wait for the cutscene, because we'll see now it's time for our friendly neighborhood alligator to just be sleeping and not wake up at all somehow. Yeah, there was a huge explosion that just happened, but you know what? I guess we were done. Now at this point of the story, BK's like, I'm just cleaning up the neighborhood. I'm helping everyone out. Oh, and also we learned that Mira actually knew he was doing this. So, you know, that's pretty messed up. But hey, we get to have a nice conversation. Mira's gonna ask the alligator how many snakes it would take to defeat him, and he says 1,000 snakes, which I feel like is a little overconfident, but you know, maybe he's awesome. Anyway, there's a bunch of story going on. Mira's like, the raccoons are really nice. They're awesome. BK's my friend. And the alligator's like, I ordered a donut. It's gonna be really tasty. Anyways, that's the end of the text conversation, and my dude immediately goes back to being slumped, which I really respect. Now at this point, we're going for these lizards. Is that what they are? I don't know. I'm probably saying a bunch of stuff wrong in this video, so just let me know your complaints in the comments. Anyways, we're gonna go for all the lizards. We have to go for the smaller ones first, and Come on, dude, just get in the hole. I guess I'll go and get this other smaller one. Sometimes it works. You don't need to get the last one. But these guys are extremely slippery, so it's hard to get them in the hole. At the end of the day, though, they just need to accept it because everything will get consumed. Then it pans us over to the alligator, and we want to focus on his stuff, going for the smaller stuff first, going up to the bigger stuff, and after a bit, we get this really enjoyable scene of watching the tree get consumed, which just feels good. I don't know, consuming trees is just awesome in this game. Oh, also, I'm going to keep the boombox alive because who doesn't want music? And we're going to be taking that last. Before we do that, we can get other stuff like the tree's top, all of this stuff. We can get these tires right by the house, and everything will slowly get consumed before finally we do have to go for the house, which get in there, and we got it done. And we didn't even get rid of the music.
Can't do anything.
I've actually never had that happen before. I didn't even know
Just
you
CC
could
forever.
without getting the boombox, but I guess it works. Now we learned that Mira wanted BK to order a catapult to start catapulting people back up. And so we get to the egg level, which we can see that this one chicken is missing its significant other, and the other chicken is going to get shipped away from its love, which is kind of really sad actually. But thankfully, BK is actually here to rescue them and save the day. First of all, we're going to consume it, just like usual. And then after we consume enough, we'll see that BK is just like me, on his phone on the toilet. And Mira's like, hey, you need to stop doing that, you know, being a buzzkill. I really want to save up for my quadcopter, but Mira is demanding we go ahead and get a catapult. So I guess we'll buy it along with some energy drinks, because why not? Now at this point, what we want to do is use our catapult, which lets us launch up items. And then, yeah, you'll see we can do stuff like that. And we'll be using this ability in a bunch of different ways. It's actually one of the coolest things in the game. Like right here, we can launch up the brown chicken. Okay, I'm trying to line this up. For some reason, it wasn't working. But anyways, we can get the brown chicken right back in the barn and see its loving. Then if we go on to the other side, we'll see that a ton of eggs are going to start producing. But we're going to put the eggs on their multiple egg mode, and now things are going to start to get crazy. So what you want to do here is just keep consuming the eggs. There's a certain amount you need to get. Technically, you can count it and make sure you have the perfect amount, but I kind of just go by feeling that feels like enough. Maybe? Okay, I guess I'm gonna cover more eggs. That wasn't my best decision ever. Anyways, we can then get that thing. Things are gonna start getting bigger. We can go for the truck, the giant chicken, all the rest of the stuff on the farm until we can finally get to the small barn and then also get to the big barn, finishing out that level, which we're doing really well at this point. We're almost to the part where we're done with flashbacks and we'll actually be in real time. But before that, it's time for another one of my favorite levels because we get to use some wonky physics. Now we'll see the beekeeper is being chased by his bees, and BK again is going to save the day. Now, first of all, what we do here is start getting a couple of things just to make sure our hole is big enough to deal with what we're gonna have to do after this. Then we can get this honeycomb and use the catapult to launch it up, so then we can get the frog. Now, this is one of my favorite parts of the game because we can use the frog to then latch onto the nest and also latch onto the bees. And we'll do that for all of these in every single one of these scenarios. It's actually really fun. I love the frog's physics of just using his tongue and then going down. It's adorable. But we'll let the frog eat all of that so he can get
Jesus Christ.
before going for the other stuff and just consuming all of that too. Now we go over to this
And just
spot.
run
First of
away.
all, we want to make sure that our hole is big enough to do some cool tricks that we're about to do.
Just do
Now,
that and not
I
take
think
any
we only
damage.
need to get 2 of these bees, but I get 3 just for safety. And then we can do a cool trick which just saves like the smallest amount of time, to be honest. What we can do is use the physics to launch the frog up, then use the hole to move him over, take the guy without making him thick enough to get the 4 bees. We only had to use 3. Anyways, that was another fun time, but now we're hearing about the complaints from the chef. And the chef level is interesting. So they have a cockroach infestation, and there are cockroaches everywhere. There's so many, he's using a bin on top of a cockroach that is moving him around. Yeah, you probably shouldn't eat at this restaurant, but we're gonna take him in. That's what he gets for not cleaning up a little bit, and then we're actually gonna go into the restaurant. We'll see there's another one of these birds, and what we want to do here is make a soup that's to his liking. So first of all, we get this green liquid, and then we have to get both salt and pepper. The thing is, once we get one of the spices, a cockroach is gonna show up and try to eat it, but it's pretty easy to dodge. As long as we're fast enough, he won't jump in there, and it won't ruin the taste. We can then get our pepper, let our bird go and eat it, and then we don't really have to do anything else. Because now we're going outside, and I'm pretty sure the hole's physics of trying to attract the cockroaches is still on for some reason.
So much
Even though there's
fun.
no more soup,
Isn't it just
they
supposed to be the
really
most fun
wanna
game
go in
in
my hole.
some
So that makes our
fun
lives a little bit
champ in the
easier
game?
as we
Holy
go
moly.
through, take the rest of this stuff. All these cockroaches are like, give me those soup remnants. And now we're getting to a very big area. At this point, we can take all these cars, a bunch of tiles and trees and stuff like that before getting these like bunkers. The target is like regular buildings, they literally look like bunkers. But then we get these huge scale where we can get these gigantic buildings. We do have to kind of move around our hole a little bit to make sure they don't
That hit
fall in the
me.
wrong place,
Okay.
but it's nice and easy at the end of the day. And yeah, another person successfully murdered. Well, I guess unfortunately not murdered because obviously they are still here. But at this point, it's now time to get to present day right after we do one more flashback. So we'll see that BK has finally gotten his quadcopter, and honestly, we can all be pretty proud of him. Just look how happy he is. Anyways, it's called the BK squad, and obviously Mira is extremely jealous. To be honest, I'm kind of jealous. And she's so jealous that she's going to throw the quadcopter onto the ground like a jerk. And Mira's like, okay, it's time for you to get a taste of your own medicine, and she decides to destroy her boy. Now it's time for a really satisfying level. Just look at these tree drops. It feels so good. We get another one right there, and I just love that. It's one of the most satisfying things in the world. I don't know, this game, if you haven't been satisfied so far, you're probably never gonna get there. Like, this is awesome. But finally, we can get Mira as well. Not really sure why she decided to get consumed too, but that's going to be everybody, and now we're gonna be in present day. So Mira's like, look, we have to stop this. We gotta get everybody back onto the earth, and we decide that if we find Puff, the person with the hot air balloon, we'll be able to get everybody back up to the surface. But unfortunately, no one knows where Puff is, so before that, we gotta get Possum, because for some reason we think this person who just has this terrifying mask out their window is gonna be able to help us. Now this level is interesting because it introduces darkness, which I say introduces when this is the only time they actually use it. I guess that still is introducing, but what we're gonna wanna do is get a flashlight. Now we wanna collect as many things as possible without scaring the cat in this room. That just makes things a little bit more annoying, and it will make our flashlight go out, so we have to get a battery. Like usual, we're just going for the smaller objects.
Such a cool shout.
There are some things that are deceptively big. Like, I think that should fit in, but yeah, okay, we're gonna have to go for other things
This
first.
comes up
It's
in
really
ults and
annoying.
they
It's
win.
hard with the darkness, but we'll
Just
go
alt.
through. We'll try our best
Alt.
not to hit the cat because you can see him right there with the mask on. But now we should be big enough to go and get that bird cage, get that table as well. And
Fuck did they
okay,
wait
I
so
guess
long
that's not
for?
enough. We'll just get a couple more things, and there we go. That thing's gonna go down. We can open the window or do something like that. I'm not really sure where the light source is coming from, but we can scare the cat to turn on the light, and now it's time to consume everything else. So we'll destroy this table, and that was actually a really funny launch. Possum, for some reason, is still asleep. I feel like, should we check on him? Is he alive? Anyways, time to go outside the house and get everything else. To be fair, I feel like since we got Possum, why do we even need to get his house? Like, literally, we're asking him to help us in destroying his property, which is a little bit messed up, but whatever, we got him down now. And yeah, Possum is basically going to tell us if we want to go ahead and find Pup, we should go and check Raccoon Land. I'm not sure if that's the actual name, I forget what it is, but it's basically an amusement park for raccoons. So here we go. What we're going to do is go ahead and try to get some of these bricks first. We just have to make our hole big enough to start doing some stuff. Also get that dirt, and then we can get this, which has a fish and also some water. Now we can use this water to move this raccoon up. I don't know why there's nothing else doing that. That guy's just been sitting there for like 12 hours. Well, what we want to do is use the water balloon dispenser so we can move this guy up and get him through the course. With 4 water balloons, we should have enough to get him through there. And now we just want to make sure we have enough space to also move up that thing. Okay, that was kind of embarrassing. As I was saying, to also move up that thing. And then it's just time to collect everything else before our boy finally comes back down, and we can consume him as well. Now at this point, we can move the water balloon thing, and we want to consume that too, and then go and get this water. Now with that water, we can use it on this Ferris wheel and ruin all these people's day. They were having a great time. They didn't even do anything to us, but yeah, now they're all probably dead from impact. Not really the most moral thing in the world to do, but like usual, who cares about that? The only thing I care about is the speed. Now all we have to do is take this whole amusement park ride, and there we go. We got that done too. Which now we just have a passed out police officer, which is kind of funny, but we also got his radio, and we're gonna use that to find out where Pup is. And we'll see that Pup is surrounded by a bunch of raccoons, but before we get there to start helping him, or I guess actually just consume him, we have to go ahead and make our hole big enough. Now this part is really annoying. What we want to do is move the coffee cup off of this rat's car, which, dude, can you please? Sometimes this is like a first try thing. Sometimes this takes like 5 times. Can you please get off the car? Okay, please. Yes, finally. Oh my gosh, that took so long. Anyways, we got the coffee cup, and now we can get the rat as well. Get in the hole, dude. You've been so annoying this run. Then we move our hole over to this area where we can see there's a bunch of raccoons just watching TV in the middle of the freeway. Yeah.
Why didn't I eat? Why didn't I eat? Was I too far away? No, I wasn't.
Get what they deserve by getting
There was no reason for me not to use my E there.
that and just slowly consume everything until there's nothing left. And once we get our hole big enough, we can get that raccoon as well, which is going to cause this donut truck to spit all of its donuts right onto the freeway, including a blue one. Then finally, it's just time for a picnic table, and we can move on to where Pup is going to be. Now we can use this blue donut to actually launch it up and take that police officer's camera. We're going to use this on all of these cops just one by one, getting them to like get stunned and then fall into the ground. They're really not good police officers if a single camera flash is going to do that to them, but whatever. We now got them weighing down Pup's entire air balloon, but there's going to be one more cop trying to stop us too. Now this guy, to be honest, he isn't too much harder. All we have to do instead of flashing him just one time is flash him twice in a row, and he'll get knocked down just like everyone else. So now we can use this last guy to weigh down the hot air balloon, get them all in, and now it is time for a truly satisfying part. All of these cars slowly getting consumed, probably one of the best feelings in the world. And they're just not stopping. They see a hole in front of them. They just keep going. What are you doing? They have no survival instincts, but to be fair, they don't need them. I'm a nice guy. I probably won't murder them. Probably. But we can see that Pup is now coming down, and we're like, hey, Pup, we need to use your hot air balloon so we can save the world. And what we're going to have to do is go inside trash can. So Mira and DK start flying up to this area, and we see that the whole world is like on fire or dying. There's some pretty messed up things happening. Oh, I should probably also mention at this point that we actually chose one of the slower languages to play. I forget which language it is, but if you pick a certain one, then you can master this text much faster. I didn't, just because I'm making a YouTube video and, you know, it's more easy to understand if we're in English. But anyways, as for text message, we're gonna see Trash King. He's gonna be like, new phone, who this? Literally, that's exactly what he says. And we're like, hey, can you give people their trash back? And yeah, he just says no. Well, he actually doesn't even say no. He doesn't reply, which feels kind of bad. But that means we're gonna break into his castle, starting by getting all of this stuff. And once we get all of the things right there, what we can do is repeatedly click on that like security console thing and skip a cutscene, just going straight in here. Not really sure why that cutscene skip works, but it does, and it feels good. Now from here, we're going to want to make sure that our hole gets big enough, you know, pretty much just normal stuff at this point, until we make it into the security office, and we can see that there's a raccoon just sleeping on the job, and that's going to be his last mistake, because now he is consumed. And we'll also use him. We bonked his head onto that thing to get one of the keys, and he still didn't wake up, but he's probably now going to wake up with a concussion. And after that, we make it into the biology lab, where yeah, they're doing biology things like studying a snake.
I've made a ton of videos making fun of disgusting, overpriced homes and hotels. Like the most expensive hotel room that's $100,000 a night and you're basically paying to be surrounded by butterflies and medical waste. And I've always thrown tomatoes at this garbage. In the case of the hotel room, literal garbage. If you want the same effect for less than 100 grand, just bring a couple bar stools down to your local landfill. But I've always shot spitballs at this because it's so stupid. Like, these prices are crazy and what you're actually getting for it make no sense. But I decided to put my money where my ass is and actually experience it firsthand, because maybe I'm just bah-humbugging from the sideline and jealousy, and it's actually super worth the price for these places. So I decided to stay at the most expensive hotel in Tampa with a couple friends of mine so we could thoroughly investigate and review it to see if it's actually worth the crazy amount of money that we paid for it. The most expensive hotel in Tampa is called The Edition. It's a 5-star hotel, and its presidential suite, its penthouse, is $10,000 a night. 10,000 fucking clams a night. This is prime shitter number 1. I did see this. Very nice. Everything's motion activated. Nope, it's not.
Those are just 2 big buttons. What are your
Imagine
thoughts?
there's just a floater in there. So, all I know about it is Dave Portnoy hated it. And I have been to the bar downstairs once when I was walking around, like, Channel Side.
Yep.
I didn't like the bar at all.
I've heard bad things about it.
Yeah. And
Yeah, Dave Portnoy hated
yes.
right off the bat. There's 1 bedroom. for a $10,000 a night hotel room. So that feels weird.
A few months back, Dave Portnoy made a video that popped off shitting all over this hotel. He stayed in a $5,000 a night suite and he was talking about how overpriced it was for what he got. I don't want to spoil anything from our investigation here, but I'll just go ahead and let you in on a secret. It's extremely overpriced. It is outrageously overpriced. Like, this is more overpriced than like an EA DLC bundle. Also, the reason I'm dressed up in this video is because I thought I needed to blend in. I don't really go to bougie places, so I assumed if I walked through those doors with my normal attire of white t-shirt, basketball shorts, they'd behead me on the spot and throw my corpse into an unmarked grave.
Closet space. Oh yeah, look at that. Oh wow. What do we got in there? Put those on later.
Oh my god, yep, we absolutely will.
What gave us two? So I was trying to figure out what this was. It's like a secret room, but it doesn't.
Oh.
It's a door behind a door. It's like a secret villain lair. You know what it is? There's a room on that side. Oh, we can go say hi to the other penthouse guests. Alright, and we get to the creme de la creme.
I had worse beatings in prison.
Alright, so we got a dinner table.
Dinner table. They gave us these cute little addition things as well, which is like a milk pint from school, but with water.
Those are adorable.
I'll do.
Also, they set up very nice stuff here. Are these wrong? Wait, are they food? Eat it. I want to give it a
Thank you, Dangle.
That's definitely one of them.
What if it's soap?
Chocolate.
It's chocolate?
Chocolate.
Wait.
Dark chocolate.
You want to buy it?
Anytime I've watched the other like 10,000 a night hotel room videos, they don't normally stop and eat for the first 4 minutes.
Because they don't know how to review coffee.
They don't understand. So, one half-point deduction. These are dangerous. If this table wasn't here, I could walk right into that light.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I won't take a point off.
That's fair. All right, they can have the half-point back. We got some books, board games.
They're actually board games, yeah.
Oh wow! What's in the money booth section? What's all in the
I would actually.
got a big fucking rock. I was gonna say the people of 1784 used to play that.
It was adorable and put a little warm fuzzies in our soul to see the Moist Moguls cookies set out for us when we arrived. Now, our best guess is that they do research on everyone that books the presidential penthouse suite, because I can't imagine there's that many people doing it for 10,000 doubloons a night. That's probably a pretty rare purchase, so they probably looked up the lore of Matt when he purchased it. Because it's not like Matt called them and said, "Hello, my name is Matt Phillips of Moist Moguls. I'm sure you've heard of me. I'm a big shot, and I'll be rolling through and needing to stay at the presidential suite." Like, it's not like he told them anything like that. And they do have, like, a hospitality department that I would imagine their role is to look up the guests that stay there to make them feel cozier.
All right, what room do we want to tackle first?
Let's go to the comments. These are what I read online. Constantly managed to skin them alive to these chairs.
Okay, so yeah, we need a review of the
Beautiful name. Pretty comfy. Is that a TV remote?
That's a phone. There's two phones for if you need to, like, you know, buy or sell stocks, like when you're sitting on that couch.
Let me see the phone. I need to make an important call.
I need Kramer.
This phone is like actually on a cold spine, dude.
Whatever stock you were gonna sell is already fucking plummeted. You just lost so much money.
I'm not able to make this call.
Let Charlie go where he's going.
Wait. What? Change the whole room. Yeah, change it to night.
I know the lights are probably changing.
I can shade open.
Close, close.
Oh,
Oh, that's big.
You getting that?
I'm getting it.
We need to also test the glass like that guy that was selling glass threw himself against it and popped out and killed him. We need to make sure the glass is up to code.
yeah, you go test that.
Yeah, I'll throw myself against it.
Here, I can also open the shear. Oh, wow, beautiful view.
Yep, that's the whole Tampa skyline.
It's not as nice as downtown Tampa gets, actually. This is the medium.
It's like just the television and talk.
Oh, wow.
This looks really comfortable. Okay, well, so if you're like watching a movie and then something happens, there's also a
I
phone.
like a tanky. I'm gonna like a tanky.
Take care of the burglar.
No.
Let's see how this shears would work.
Let's take a peek
I think we've got to get rid of this.
Oh,
Oh god, it's so flickering. That's a little better. That's fine.
sign in with your own Netflix account. They don't provide a guest list.
Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
So let's pass this now.
Sorcerer Diablo 4 Season 5.
Wait, well, we can just call somebody.
Yeah.
What did this guy do?
Every delivery is a treat.
Media room's pretty solid.
This is actually very nice.
Are those Banksy's, you think?
It's gotta be. At least one of them. Yeah.
Well, those are not paintings. Let's
That's
start
what
there.
Banksy wants you to think.
Alright, now we can check this side
Yeah,
of
you
the
got a
room.
second sitting area. The really cool part about this one is they've actually provided you with the Pixar length and trunk, but he's all grown up. You want to play?
Does it spin? It looks like it can spin. Like one of those center things on a...
It's just a big rock. It feels pretty nice though, actually. It's smooth very well. A lot of good geode action. Oh, goodness. Alright, moving on. Excellent stalemate.
That's a cool room.
Great work. Quick info chest.
Minions are just walking around them, fucking protecting them. Love that for me.
GamersUbs.gg/moist. That's crazy.
That's so nice of them.
So yeah. Oh wow. The Temptation
So...
Lover's Kit.
Wait, actually. There's probably like some condoms and stuff in there. Maybe some lube.
3 premium condoms, including 1 XL.
Okay, game. Oh yeah, my first kill. I can't move. I just can't move.
Take up the space.
I feel like with the way that this all is laid out, that it's comes with...
It's gotta be, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, all
Just
this.
couldn't
That's
move.
what I would imagine.
Like I said,
That's a lot of
we need to
alcohol.
open one just to see.
That
what
hits?
happens if it
Okay.
shows up on the
Feel
bill.
warm, so...
Good to know.
Protein bar?
Oh my god, that looks horrible.
Are they? I've never had RX bar. Some kind of Frank. That's pretty good. Oh yeah.
Yeah, so over here. Give us a tour. Oh, let's pop some pans.
Perfect.
That's a nice looking
It's
toaster.
a smeg toaster. Smeg's great.
It
It does, right?
All I can think of is smegma.
Smegma. That's it. I don't know why they picked that name. That's a nice thing. Some brushed copper features.
Yeah, what's above? Like a microwave or something?
I think that's smeg.
Uh, Love not being able to do anything, man.
Wow.
Love it. What do you mean it's too early?
I like coffee.
Did they wait till 15, like in the normal game?
Yeah.
You already bought it. You picked it up.
They went all
Yeah, exactly.
seconds.
This is just called dirty. You never had those? No, they good. They're very good.